Hello guys, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to watch RAF's Quick Reaction Alert Cruise. So RAF is Royal Air Force, and the thing is, we know that the UK Army had a dominance, like the whole dominance around the whole world, and also the Royal Army was very well known at the time of the Second World War II. But what about it is like in the current situation, and what is the current situation at this point of time? Let's watch this
video.
Oh wow.
The Eurofighter Typhoon, one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world, armed and ready.
The nose is also pointing.
The pilots set to scramble at a moment's notice
Oh
to
whoa.
defend the country on the orders of the British government.
This is what order I've been given. This is my job. I am the weapons platform.
They have
For
to
the
do it
first
like
time,
this.
Cameras have been allowed to film every stage of this vital part of national security.
The worst case scenario is that we potentially have to shoot down an aircraft.
We have scrambled 2 QRA jets.
We have been inside the UK's top secret nuclear bunker and heard from the pilots themselves and the politicians who would give them the order to shoot down a plane.
If you were a hostile aircraft, that's quite threatening.
In a matter of seconds, the sky defenders of the United Kingdom are away on what has now become a routine job, shooting down Nazis.
It
Just
is
as we
so
were ready
scary.
in 1940 for the Nazi aircraft coming across the southeast of England, then we're ready now.
This is the story of how the RAF protects Britain's skies every minute of every day.
One wrong communication and you are gone.
Yeah.
They will attack you.
So nice, huh?
So
RAF
massive.
Coningsby
Very,
in
very
Lincolnshire
pointy.
is home to 2 frontline Typhoon squadrons. 30 combat jets are based here. They are flown by 40 pilots and supported by 400 ground crew. They have many roles, but the one that never ends for them is a mission known as QRA. It stands
QRA.
for Quick Reaction Alert.
Oh wow.
The
The
RAF's
king of the
operation
sky.
to protect the skies of Britain.
Flying so low.
On a discreet part of RAF Coningsby is a building nicknamed the Q Shed. It sits between 2 hangars. Inside each one is an aircraft loaded with fuel and missiles, ready to take off day or night.
Oh, always loaded.
Always.
The
Always.
pilots take it in turns on the QRA rota. Each shift lasts 24 hours. They don't want us to broadcast their surnames
24 hours?
for their own personal security.
24 hours.
Tell me what it's like.
Shift.
The sort of the feelings when you're on shift
how?
and you're fairly tense because you don't know when that's going to crack.
Yeah, indeed. You can't think about it too much because otherwise your mind wouldn't be in the right place when you got the shout. Obviously, you've always got an ear on anything that can happen.
On shift, the Q Shed becomes home. There are bedrooms so they can sleep overnight, but on duty, their senses never fully switch off.
Wow.
Mark is coming to the end of his first shift, and it's been a quiet one.
This is your first QRA.
Yeah,
What sort of feeling of responsibility do you have?
yeah, it's a huge feeling of responsibility. It's kind of nice to be able to kind of fulfil the training that we've carried out for such a long period of time. But yeah, there certainly is a weight of responsibility. Yeah,
Why is it important for you to be doing this job?
I think it's as John said before, I think it's a real privilege to be in this position to protect the country as a whole.
Yeah.
It's been a gentle introduction to QRA for Mark. Not every shift, though, is as quiet as this one.
But do they have infiltrators now?
Oh wow.
On average, 8,000 aircraft enter British airspace every single day.
So hard to manage
This
all of
animation
them.
shows the actual route of each plane during one typical 24-hour period last
Oh my
year.
god. And they
Whether they're
manage all
landing,
this.
taking off, or just passing overhead, each aircraft must be closely monitored.
It is quite a challenge, but our training and the practicing and the simulation that we do in terms of our operations are fundamental to making sure that we achieve the tasks that we are assigned to do. We're identifying aircraft every day, and we're looking
Which
for every
plane
aircraft
might
that
have a
comes into the
hijacker?
UK to understand where it's going,
Anything
what it's
can
doing. But on occasions, on a daily basis, there are instances where we are unsure of what the aircraft is doing, or it might be in a different place to where we were expecting it, or a different time.
They have all the
The British
information.
military has 2 air control and reporting
Requires
centres,
so much focus.
CRCs, one based at RAF Bulmer in Northumberland, and this one at RAF Scampton in Lincolnshire, just a few miles to the west of the Typhoon station at RAF Coningsby. For security reasons, the various parts of the QRA operation are kept in different locations in case of attack. Their job here is to identify suspicious activity. They are looking for abnormal behaviour, unusual flight paths, loss of communication, unidentified aircraft.
How can they read? It's so small.
So confusing.
As we are filming, an alert goes off.
Oh Lord.
Okay, what we've got is we've had a call on the guard radio. The guard radio is where every aircraft within the UK listens to that radio, with air traffic going out for an aircraft who's not speaking to anyone at the moment.
Every single aircraft in the UK.
Every aircraft will listen into the guard radio, so that actually if they need to be contacted, they can be contacted. In this particular instance, an aircraft has got airborne out of Marham. We believe it to have a stuck receiver, which means he can't hear. But we have not had him check in, so they've gone on guard radio to try and contact him to establish two-way communications with him, and therefore be able to identify him and confirm which aircraft it is.
What a
It turns out to
security,
be
man.
the
What a
US Air
security.
Force plane with radio problems. Nothing to worry about. The Typhoon crews are stood down.
We have 2 main missions in respect of quick reaction and alert. One is against military aircraft and Russian aircraft, and the other one is very much a UK-centric 9/11 type scenario.
This is a
Hijacking.
Russian Bear aircraft. It's a long-range Tupolev bomber. Recently, Vladimir Putin has been using them to challenge NATO's response. How do you assess that current geopolitical situation with the Russians?
The first question is, go and speak to Mr. Putin and see what his intentions are. But I think the important thing from my viewpoint, we have a responsibility as a NATO member, firstly to reassure those member states that are much closer to any potential Russian threat than ourselves, that we are here, that NATO is fit for purpose, and of course to deter, as part of NATO, any potential aggressors to the organisation and the countries within it.
Only last Thursday, 2 RAF Typhoons were scrambled from Lossiemouth in Scotland to intercept a Russian Blackjack strategic bomber that is capable of flying supersonic.
But it looks so cool.
The Russian planes don't submit a flight plan or transmit their position.
Why?
They never actually enter British airspace,
Okay.
but fly into the British area of interest
Oh.
to test the RAF's reactions.
They're doing their job.
They're poking
and,
them.
We're doing our job to determine what is happening and then feed that back to the fighter controllers and further up the chain.
In April 2015, a Russian Bear bomber flew up the English Channel straight through busy commercial flight paths. This is video of that incident, filmed from inside the Russian plane, the RAF Typhoons shadowing it alongside.
Continuously they are around
This kind
it.
of flying
Do
is,
one wrong thing.
is extremely
We'll kill you.
intimidatory. It's also dangerous. They may not enter our airspace, but they don't respond. They don't file flight plans. They don't respond to air traffic control. They don't even respond to our pilots when they're up in the air alongside them. It's unnecessary behaviour. It's intimidatory. It's designed to annoy us, but it's important we respond to it, and we do.
In a matter of seconds, the sky defenders of the United Kingdom are away on what has now become a routine job, shooting down Nazis.
75 years ago, the men and women of the RAF were performing a very similar role, but against a very different enemy.
The Nazis.
Goering's Luftwaffe took its first licking.
In 1940, the German Luftwaffe was bombing airfields across the southeast of England. The only thing that stood in their way were the Hurricanes and Spitfires of Fighter Command.
Wow. From that
It
so
was
many years
the Battle
ago.
of Britain.
70, 80 years ago.
Well, this is
This plane.
rather a
And
large
he
part of
included women
British
too,
history.
even at that
If it
time.
wasn't for the replica Hurricane
Good.
and a Spitfire as well, you wouldn't
No, it's here. You can almost walk straight past it. Because 76 stairs below here is a World War II underground operations room, which was the command centre for the Battle of Britain.
Wow.
During those tense days, this bunker at RAF Uxbridge was manned round the clock as the Nazis pummeled the airfields in the southeast. Key decisions that would decide the fate of Europe were taken here, 60 feet underground.
Wow.
It's extraordinary to think that just 70 years ago, this was very much the height of technology. And trying to imagine what it must have been like during those days. There would have been 20 people crowded around this table, all of them women, working in pairs, plotting the route of German aircraft as they came across the English
This
Channel.
was the air
One
traffic
RAF
controller.
officer said it was like a game of tennis. The Germans were always serving, the RAF were the ones returning. And on that day, that crucial day, as if to add to the pressure, Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister, was up here watching down, and he saw on the board behind all of the lights turn red, meaning that every single Spitfire and Hurricane squadron was up in the air engaging the Germans.
Wow.
And he turned to the man in charge and said, "How much have we got in reserve?" The answer came back, "None."
All out.
Fighter
It was
command
all out.
was vastly outnumbered. The Luftwaffe came at them with over 3,000 aircraft.
Whoa.
The Allies only had 600 in the beginning.
600 with 3,000.
103 pilots killed, 128 seriously injured. The lifeblood of Fighter Command, its fighter pilots, was ebbing away. So we were in a pretty serious state. We had pilots. We didn't have combat-trained pilots, and pilots were arriving at frontline squadrons, if they were lucky, with 20 hours experience on a Hurricane or a Spitfire, some with 15, some with 10, some with none at all.
The Hurricane might have shot down more planes in the battle, but the Spitfire has become a British icon.
Well, this is the last remaining airworthy Spitfire to have fought in the Battle of
It
Britain.
can still go in the air.
RAF bought it for £25 off a scrap heap back in 1948. Would you believe it? It's not
25 pounds?
particularly
Only?
comfortable, I have to say. And to imagine that these young men would go up in it 4 or 5 times a day to face the Germans over the English Channel is quite something.
Today, the home of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight is RAF Coningsby. The planes that defended Britain's skies 75 years ago now live alongside their modern successors, the Typhoons.
The Typhoon.
There are a few RAF pilots who get to fly both. One of those is Coningsby's station commander, Group Captain Jez Attridge.
These old aeroplanes, you can really feel them. You know, there's not much to them. It's you and the stick. Whereas the modern aeroplanes, it's all about processing the information rather than actually flying the aeroplane. So you're sitting there as a battle space manager rather than a pure pilot.
These are modern
Like the
machineries.
Spitfire
Everything is done by
Hurricane,
computers.
The Typhoon was designed for a dogfight. It was built to shoot down the
dogfight?
enemy.
Dogfight is when planes and 2 jets are in the air, they're fighting.
From their Lincolnshire base, they can be over central London in just 10 minutes. When the alarm goes, there is no time for a briefing. Coming up, the siren sounds.
You're right.
The siren goes off and we need to be out of those aircraft as soon as possible.
The training just kicks in and the adrenaline flows.
And we experience firsthand what it is like to be intercepted at 35,000 feet.
If you did not respond immediately to my orders as Turkey...
Is he firing? Oh my god.
During the later years of the Cold War, when the Russian nuclear threat was at its height, the British government built this bunker at RAF Air Command outside High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire. It is so top secret that this is the first time cameras have been allowed to film it.
Oh, first time.
3 sets of blast doors protect it from nuclear, biological, and chemical attack.
Wow.
There are
All
4
types of
floors
attacks.
going deep below the ground. On the second, somewhere in the heart of the bunker, is the National Air Defence Operations Centre, the NADOC. The top of the military chain, to protect Britain's skies.
Psycho, this is the MC for the NatRep. We still have no radio contact with...
The role of the NADOC is to act very much as the hub, the fusion point, if you want, for all the information that comes in to allow us to exercise air defence on behalf of the United Kingdom Air Defence Command.
We've got a lost comms on a course line.
If a suspicious aircraft appears, there is a direct line from here to the Department of Transport and the Metropolitan Police Counter-Terror Unit.
Oh, so
they
directly
can swap intelligence to build a clearer picture of the threat.
Oh, this is nice.
In real emergencies, a red phone connects straight to Downing Street.
Oh, red phone! Oh, this is so like a movie.
Specific with
London.
that.
It is then
Red
transferred to the Prime Minister or to a senior cabinet minister.
That goes directly to the Prime Minister.
The phone rings, even during an exercise.
Love the red phone.
Heart beats a little faster.
Yes, there are lives at stake, there are uncertainties, you're unsure as to how real the threat is, and there's advice available to you, but in the end, a minister has to take that decision.
The QRA operation is highly sensitive. It has never been filmed before, from start to finish, but the RAF gave us unprecedented access to do just that.
Wow.
This is how it works. We flew out of RAF Coningsby to play the part of a hijacked passenger plane.
Oh, they're doing everything.
So we've been heading east over the North Sea. We're about there at the moment. And in a minute we're going to turn around. We're going to start coming back down towards the UK. But this time it's an
this is
unidentified
Windows
aircraft.
07.
The alarm bells will start ringing. The Typhoons based here in Coningsby will be scrambled. And
Or
they will
03.
come out, sit alongside us and intercept us.
Okay.
At RAF Scampton, our aircraft is identified on the computer screens.
Track of interest. East Coast inbound.
They immediately contact the NADOC in the bunker at RAF Air Command.
NatRep, good morning, sir. This is the Master Controller. I have a track of interest in the system for you. Zulu 001.
Zulu,
East
Zulu.
Coast heading
That is
northwest
ZZ00.
right now at 35,000 feet. Yeah, I can see it on your radar. Roger, that's understood. I will be quick reaction alert to readiness. Stand by.
The Master Controller at Scampton alerts the Typhoons.
Coningsby Operations and QRA. This is the Black Dog Master Controller. Acknowledge.
Okay, so now they get it.
Q on. 4 quick reaction alerts. Scramble, acknowledge.
You're right.
Oh, the alarm. Oh, wow. This is giving me goosebumps.
The two pilots and their ground teams run to the hangars.
Whatever you are doing, just leave it.
They can flick a switch to begin powering up the jet, even as they climb into the cockpit.
Wow.
The Typhoons.
It's like I'm watching Top Gun again.
Top Gun, yeah.
We have scrambled 2 QRA jets to intercept this lost comms over. 1 jet has been cleared supersonic.
Climb flight level 410 and 400. Set speed initially decimal and 9. Your mission, interrogate.
As they break through the clouds,
Any other information have we got on this aircraft?
the team on the ground are still trying to gather intelligence on the suspect aircraft.
He's still out of radio contact with air traffic control.
The Typhoons need to reach it fast and assess the situation for themselves. The quicker they get there, the more thinking time for the Prime Minister if he is called upon to make a decision.
Oh.
And it can happen.
So smart.
We start with breaking news tonight as a Russian-built Latvian cargo plane has been intercepted by RAF Typhoons and escorted into Stansted Airport.
In October 2014, the Typhoons from RAF Coningsby flew supersonic to intercept a Latvian aircraft approaching London.
Supersonic.
It wasn't communicating, and so the RAF pilot gave this final warning.
1605 from the Lima 9 Tango 47. I've instructed that I'd like to government of the United Kingdom to warn you that if you do not respond immediately to my orders,
You will be shot down.
The cargo plane was safely escorted into Stansted. It is one of the UK's designated airports for terrorist incidents.
The people in the cockpit, the people communicating with the cockpit are fully trained, fully rehearsed and ready for that moment.
Back at RAF Coningsby, even as the two Typhoons are closing in on our target aircraft, New jets are being readied should another call come in.
Oh, wow. So I thought they
pilot
would wait for
inspects the
that
weapons
too.
And does his pre-flight checks in the cockpit.
Pre-prepared.
So
If the
other
sirens
duos are
sound,
ready.
Everything must be ready to go. Although there is another QRA base at RAF Lossiemouth in Scotland, Coningsby must be set to launch any time of day or night, even if some of its aircraft are already deployed.
Oh, wow. So they have caught up to the
30,000
plane.
feet above the North Sea, the Typhoons are closing in on our aircraft. They approach cautiously, in case they spook the plane, and then they try to contact the cockpit.
Russian 66 from Q2, interceptor aircraft.
Our aircraft doesn't respond.
Q2, Black Dog, confirm no response.
It's remarkable how
No response.
close they get. There's one either side of us at the moment, both fully armed.
Oh, they are so close.
Hostile aircraft.
They're so close.
That's quite threatening.
Yeah,
The
it's
Typhoon
threatening.
pilots will report what they're seeing back to the ground, and in turn receive any new intelligence.
Change heading onto east immediately, acknowledge.
So that they can stay on station for as long as needed, a refueling tanker is deployed.
Oh, wow.
They will be getting communications from the control and reporting centres at Scampton and Bulmer. They'll be giving us instructions as more information is fed to them, and they gain more information from other sources. And then gradually there's an escalation process if that needs to occur. There's nothing new in there that we don't practice, and the training just kicks in and the adrenaline flows.
Having no luck with radio contact, the Typhoon pilots fire flares as a show of
Oh,
force.
these are flares.
By now, most options have been tried, and our plane is still not responding. It has become a real threat to national security.
I am instructed by Her Majesty's Government of the United Kingdom to warn you that if you do not respond immediately to my orders to turn east, you will be shot down.
Oh.
It is probable that were this happening for real, the Prime Minister or a senior cabinet member would now be on the line and briefed.
The
Oh
worst
my
case
God,
scenario
the
is
red
we
phone.
potentially have to shoot down
Red
an
phone.
aircraft. But that's having gone through the most robust processes and procedures in order to identify and
Yeah.
interrogate that aircraft.
And who would make that decision?
That decision is
Prime
held
Minister.
at the political level, at the highest political level.
But who would give the order to the pilot?
The orders will be issued by my team.
Are they trained for that?
Absolutely, and they're ready to do that.
Would you be prepared to shoot down a commercial airliner?
At the end of the day, we're in the military. This is our job, 24/7, 365
They have to
days.
follow the orders.
A year.
Yeah.
So if that's an order given to us and the correct protocols are being followed, the correct authentications be given, then yes, we can't think about it. It's our job.
Does it go
it's
through
an
your
order. It will when I land. It won't airball.
The Typhoons have returned to Coningsby. Another day on quick reaction alert.
Wow.
Their mission is over, their shift isn't. They go back on standby, ready should the alarm go again.
This is a continuous job. They are serving the country.
In 1940, the young men and women of Fighter Command protected Britain's skies against Nazi invasion. Today, 75 years on, Russian aircraft continue to probe NATO's air defences, and the threat of terrorism is as high as it has been for many years.
Everyone knows their part in the system, they train for it, they rehearse for it, so then if an event happens, then they're ready to react.
Training kicks in. This is what I've been trained to do. This is what order I've been given. This is my job.
Every pilot, engineer and controller is aware of the part that they play, keeping the country safe, protecting Britain's skies
Crazy.
every minute of every day.
This is one of the craziest videos I've ever watched, because like how I was so into it. Like even in Top Gun, I was shown a bit, from the far side, but this was so close. You're shown the whole method, like how they're contacting. Then there is a red phone to contact the Prime Minister. Then they get the alert. They are 24/7. They are there, and also like the shift is for 24 hours. How tiring that would be, but they're always ready. And the one thing, they got the alarm and they're going off. And also in the air, like they are giving warnings to the plane that like if you don't follow our orders, we will shoot you down. That is so scary for the plane to hear.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm honestly thinking about their minds, like how they have to always alert and focused on the things. Like just the way he said, like 365, like days and 24 hours, we have to always available and dedicated towards our job. That is very, very tough. I'm just saluting them.
Actually, so what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share and
Subscribe.
bye.